Salvete Omnes, this is Emilia, also known as TheMartianGeek, and welcome back to another episode of Dynomite. In the last episode, we cleared Stomped Mode. Well, sort of. I mean, it technically goes on forever, but we got past all of the actual levels. We also showed off all the different difficulties. And we defeated Castle Dynomite. Ugh. But anyway, that's 3 out of 4 game modes shown off so far. We only have one more to go, and it is the Fossil Challenge. This is actually probably my favorite game mode in the game, but it's also definitely the most time-consuming. It has the most levels of any of them, unless of course you count, endless, going forever. But we actually don't get a difficulty select with this one, we instead have a different mode select here. We have Strategic and Panic. The levels are slightly different in the two modes, so I will be showing off all of both of them, but for now, let us start with Strategic. First, Cambrian Fossil, Fragment number 1. Now, the way the Fossil Challenge works is you have these fossil fragments here, and you have to free them by basically just dropping all the eggs, or getting rid of all the eggs above them, causing them to fall. And, of course, you do that, well, by standard dynamite rules, matches of 3 and all. I mean, it's still dynamite and all. Also, we see Crony here again, and we can actually shoot as many eggs as we want without fear of the puzzle moving down. It's not Stomped Mode after all, but instead we're on a time limit basically. Each round has a certain amount of time before the puzzle starts shifting down. In this case it's 50 seconds. Crony's timer will run for 50 seconds before the puzzle will shift down 1, and then it'll reset, then after another 50 seconds it'll shift down again, and so on and so forth. So let's start here. It's also worth noting that the early levels tend to give you a lot of free light bulb bonuses. Just like in Stomped Mode, I suppose. Fossil Challenge also probably has the best music. Well, I guess Endless is pretty decent too. This also actually might be the easiest mode to get a good high score on. But anyway, we cleared the first round. That was pretty easy. I guess I forgot to mention, it's basically a square structure. I mean, it's not exactly square, but if Dynamite weren't on an isometric grid, it would be square. But we have one fossil down, and we can see which fossils we have yet to clear, or drop, or whatever. So let's just continue to the next fragment. And now we're on to fragment number 2 of the first Cambrian fossil. And this time we still have a square, or rectangular structure, I guess. Still 4 columns wide, but now it's 7 rows deep, or tall, I guess. I believe the last one was only 5. And of course, we only have 4 colors to deal with right now. 4 egg colors, that is. Believe me, that'll change. You also might notice the fossil fragments are pretty small right now. That's another thing that will indeed change later on. After all, can't remain at the same difficulty the whole way through, can we? Also, we only had 40 seconds between cycles on that second one, and we actually only get 30 for this one. But like I said, it's still so early in the game. This is the tiniest fossil fragment in the game right here. And also, fragment number 3, you might notice, wasn't a rectangular structure. Well, I guess it kind of is, but it basically covered the entire field. Oh, hey. Time's running out. I want that 5 bonus, so I'm gonna postpone getting that in a while. Egg, or the top, I mean. Ah, dang it, I had a yellow egg there, come on. Okay, now I need another yellow egg. There we go. First fossil done. And no, I probably won't be playing through all of these. And we can see it's a trilobite. But like the Stomp Challenge, I'll decide afterward which parts I want to cut. Though since the levels in this mode tend to take longer, at least especially toward the end, I probably actually will end up cutting some things this time. But we'll worry about that when we get to it. For now, first Permian fossil, fragment number 1. So this would be the second fossil. Another rectangular structure, still 5 rows tall, or it is 5 rows tall. But this time it's only, this time it's 5 columns wide as well. Nothing we can't handle though, and I want that light bulb bonus. Thank you. There's an easy clear there. Honestly, I find with a lot of the later levels, I tend to just want to save a lot. Because definitely some arrangements of eggs are far harder to deal with than others, depending on how many of the same color it spawns next to each other. As before, the first fragment of the first Permian fossil gives you 50 seconds per cycle, and the second one gives you 45. And we get a 1,000 point bonus for clearing it. You get 1,000 points for the first and second fragments, and 2,000 for the third one. And now we're up to fragment number 3. We still have 5 columns, and we have 6 rows, but now we have 5 colors. They added purple. It's worth noting that it seems like, well, obviously the levels get difficult as you get more difficult as you progress. Like, each fossil is harder to clear than the previous one, I mean. But also, there's an increase in difficulty between fossil fragments. And we got a brachiopod. Like, you've noticed, probably, that the first fragment has been the easiest of all of them, and then the second one has been the next easiest, and the third one's been the hardest. Also, now we have a triangle. That doesn't show up very often, that configuration. And again, we have 50 seconds before the puzzle starts dropping. And even then, it only drops 1 row at a time, so really, Fossil Challenge is... honestly, it's probably a pretty decent game mode for just about anyone. I mean, the early levels are so easy. It gives you good practice making bank shots and stuff. Yeah, beginners try the endless puzzle. I don't think so. But anyway, just one more, and... cleared. Fallen Fossil bonus, 1,000 points. You might notice the fragments are already starting to get a bit bigger. Mind you, these fragments are not to scale. Later we'll actually have some dinosaur fossils that won't be a whole lot bigger than these trilobites and stuff that are actually small creatures. Also, I guess I didn't see how many rows that was, but now we're up to 6 columns. Again with the rectangular structure. That definitely seems to be the most reoccurring type of egg structure in this mode. And this time, they added the 5th color after only 2 fragments. Well, I guess technically there was a purple one in the first fragment, but there wasn't any purple in the puzzle, so I'm not sure what was up with that. And we don't have a light bulb bonus right now. It'll be a little harder to get eggs up there. Once again, well, this time actually we have 45 seconds between cycles rather than 40. And yes, you can get matches like that after you drop the fossil if you're quick enough. Second Cambrian fossil, fragment number 3. Still 6 columns, but now we're up to 9 rows? Yeah, 9. And we get 40 seconds between cycles. You can tell already things are starting to get a little bit trickier. Still really not that bad, though. That. Also, when you think about it, considering how many eggs you can shoot in all 30 to 50 seconds, technically, these levels would have far more than 20 eggs per stomp. Or maybe even 35. And now we get to see the puzzle shift down. Oh no! It went down a whole 1 row, whatever am I gonna do? Yeah, just keep being a little bit off of those last few. Also, we're up to 22,610 points, of course. That was our 3rd fossil, and time for the 4th. Once again, 6 columns, and we have 7 rows. And we already have purple in the puzzle, and it's only fragment number 1. Honestly, I think the second Permian fossil feels like the biggest difficulty spike early on to me. I don't know about the biggest one in the entire game, but... Alright, on to fragment number 2. And this time we have a trapezoid. Oh yeah, again, 50 seconds per cycle for that first one. This trapezoid is also 9 rows tall. And the bottom is, well, I guess 3 eggs wide. There isn't actually a whole lot of variation with trapezoid structures, so... like I said before, you definitely see the rectangles the most. For this one, again, you get 45 seconds per cycle. I have actually gotten dynamite combos in Fossil Challenge before. And no, it doesn't blow up the fossil. It'll blow up the eggs around the fossil, but of course you can't use it for an easy victory, or to shatter the fossil fragments into even more fragments. Can I get this? Yes! Also, is it just me, or does Crony sound a little bit Canadian when he says time's running out? Fragment number 3. We're up to 7 columns now, and 9 rows. Yeah, this is a little close to the warning line, isn't it? This is one of those where I probably ended a lot of my games as a kid. But I am more experienced, and I have manly princess powers, and I can deal with this. Actually, I probably wasn't that old the first time I beat Fossil Challenge mode, so look at that what you will. I guess something I haven't really paid attention to much is how wide the walls are.
Time's running out.
Obviously, the more space, or the wider the walls are, the more space you have to work with. Oh, I should have gone for that group of eggs instead. Oh well. 2,000 points for me. And we get a crinoid. I'm not actually even sure what the heck that is, but I think it's actually a plant. I think that's the only plant fossil you get in this game. And we could continue to the next fossil, but we've done 4, and I think that's probably about good for one episode. So, we will deal with the first Devonian fossil in the next episode. For now, let's go ahead and save our game. Since we're done with Stomped Puzzles for now, we can just save it over the same file we had before. And back to the main menu, and I will see you in the next episode with the next fossil.